Restaurant Victory, fans for your brand, bills in your till. I'm going to teach you how to grow your restaurant sales without sucking up all of your time. If you're a busy restaurant owner, this training is for you. Some of you work because you want to or because you have to. But either way, to stay in business and grow, you have to consistently get both of these things, fans for your brand and bills in your till. So please get off Facebook, quit checking emails and the millions of texts you get every day. I get it, you're putting out fires. But this short training is really going to help you avoid that overwhelm you're feeling with growing your restaurant sales. So try not to multitask, or you'll have a hard time understanding how it works. Now, unless you've got a steak on the grill, because I don't want to be liable for an upset customer or a remake. So today, I'm going to teach you how to get two things for your restaurant using smartphone technology and social media. I'm going to show you the best marketing strategy to get more fans for your brand and more bills in your till, predictably and consistently, so that you can hire accordingly. Now, this is not a quick fix. It's not a short-term project, and it's not a fast dash to cash. It's a long, slow game, but that's good. It helps so you don't have a crazy influx of customers and hire a ton of people and then see a drop-off and have to let people go. It's nothing like that. It's a consistent, steady increase over time. Also, I'm going to show you how to get more bills in your till and how to track where your marketing dollars are actually going. I'm going to help you avoid the mistakes most restaurateurs make. No more posting and hoping, hitting that blue boost button willy-nilly, and just throwing money at Facebook without a real strategy. The best part is you're going to be able to automate those two things so that you can make money and save time. Once it's all set up, you won't even really need to log into Facebook. So who the heck am I, and why do I have the authority to teach you this stuff? I like to say, hey y'all, I'm Tracy Matney. I'm the founder of Restaurant Victory, and I've actually been in restaurants since I was 16. I started, as most do, as a hostess, and then a server, and then I was a line dance coordinator. Yeah, that's totally a thing, for Texas Roadhouse in Port Arthur, Texas. I've always loved the customer experience side of restaurants, and I smashed every upsell contest there was to make someone else have to do my side work. Pretty competitive. Then I went to Baylor University, got my degree in marketing, and after college, I moved over to the vendor side as a brewery rep for the Boston Beer Company. It was my job to get as many bars and restaurants to carry Sam Adams beer on tap. And I did, but I knew it couldn't stop there. My beer had to sell. If no customers came in to drink Sam Adams, the next keg ordered would not be mine. So I had to figure something out. So I decided to become the offer queen. I worked with restaurant and bar owners to create compelling offers on Sam Adams that would bring in customers and increase overall beer and food sales. We were really successful, actually, and I grew my territory by double digits in draft beer sales. Now, this was way before social media was as big as it is now. Restaurants had to work super hard to deliver offers to people. I saw restaurant owners running around crazy, dealing with creating menus, kitchen staff no-shows, licensing, finances, and those darn customers that we kind of need them though. I noticed marketing would hit the back burner, so to speak, because they just didn't have the time or energy to do it. And the marketing folks in radio, TV, print, and even social media, so-called experts, were struggling to prove their methods work and would bring a positive ROI. So when I started my marketing agency, I just knew there had to be a way to use my skills and my many years in food and bev to help restaurant owners increase sales without ever needing to log into Facebook or Instagram themselves. And ethically, I knew it was mandatory that we had to be able to track the dollars going out and coming back in. That's ROI, right? So I discovered a secret. The ROI engine has been a game changer for my clients. We're building more fans for their brand, and putting more bills in their till. I get so excited, I get ahead of myself. So there's two types of restaurants that this works for: fast casual restaurants and sit-down restaurants. And not every restaurant is going to be the right fit for our system. We're actually getting a ton of great results for a local franchise poke chain. It's working so well because of the LTV these customers are higher. That's a lifetime value. They come more often every year. They come maybe once a week, if not once or twice a month. Their labor cost is also slightly lower because they can have a little less staff on the floor. One of my other successful clients has had people come up to 4 times a week or even 4 times a month. And on average, we see people come between 12 and 15 times a year, sometimes more, for fast casual. Another type is sit-down restaurants. Mill Creek Barbecue has had a higher per person average, PPA, that has shown us that while there are fewer visits per month due to the higher price point, we are seeing consistent growth month after month because people are coming in a little more often and spending a little more than usual. So the PPA has increased. And now we certainly tailor our approach dependent on the type of restaurant we're working with, but the cool part is we can track all of those customer visits. Now let's go to Dreamworld for a second. So I want you to close your eyes. Go to Dreamworld with me. You show up mid-shift to your restaurant to work for the day, and there is a line out the door. Every seat is full of happy, smiling customers. You haven't even logged into Facebook for at least a week, and you're not doing any other marketing besides working with us. You sit down at your desk and open up your email to see a report that looks something like this. You can go ahead and open your eyes. On the weekly digest you get from me, you see that last week you generated $1,070 in incremental sales automatically. And since the beginning of the program, you've captured the contact info of 3,743 customers and gotten $19,000 in incremental sales, all without logging into Facebook. Then you notice a really big number on the screen, the lifetime value of those customers and the annual impact that you can project, just over $78,000 in the lifetime and that 1 year from these particular customers. It's pretty exciting stuff. And this is actually a real client of ours, a small family-owned Mexican chain in Southern California. These numbers are pretty awesome, and it's one of our best performing customers. But if you even got half of these numbers, would you still be thrilled? The system called the ROI Engine is actually live now with hundreds of restaurants in the US, and I'm going to show you how it works. And I know there's a million things you could be doing right now, but growing your restaurant is important to you, right? It's important to me too. So I'm going to talk as quickly as possible to get this done in 30 minutes or so, including what I've already said. So by the way, I should also mention, nothing makes me more frustrated than people teaching others to do something they haven't even accomplished themselves. So I'll be giving you examples of restaurants I've actually worked on myself. In this training, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes most restaurant owners make when marketing on Facebook and Instagram. I'm going to show you how to avoid them. No more posting and hoping something sticks. I'm going to show you the best marketing strategy to build an engaged and loyal customer database to drive new and repeat sales, even if you hope Facebook burns down. Okay, not really, since you know your customers are on there. I'm just directly quoting my client, John. I'm going to teach you the simple, proven system I use to predictably track ROI so that you know where your marketing dollars are going. It's simple on your end. It's actually pretty complex and sophisticated on our end, though. We make it easy for you and your staff to implement. No more just throwing money at Facebook boost button without a trackable ROI. We will guide the marketing strategy so you don't even have to worry about wasting your time and money trying to figure it out. Now, do you like free stuff? I like free stuff. I'm going to be giving away my Facebook page setup checklist for free, just for sticking around and watching this video. Here's the deal. This checklist will make it easy peasy for you to DIY your own Facebook page setup. So just for being here, you're going to get an email with this Facebook page checklist. Here's, if you don't believe how amazing it is, here, check out some of these comments. Here's what people had to say. Lakeisha said, I'm so confused when it comes to social media. I don't even know how to set up my page. Can you make me a checklist? Done for you, Lakeisha. Then Sue said she didn't even have a personal Facebook account. She used her sister's when she bought her franchise. Totally a customer. And this is for you, Sue. If you need help with that, obviously we took it over for her and did it. But if you want to DIY, this Facebook page is a good, checklist is a good place to start. John said, I seriously wish Facebook would burn down, but not actually because my customers are on there. Thanks, Tracy, for your help with this. And Monica said, Tracy, you made Facebook so easy to understand. I got so much value just from our phone call. Worth the amount I paid, and we haven't even started advertising yet. So that was pretty fun conversation. So make sure you check your email here in a couple hours. All right, enough about me, back to you. Secret number one, the biggest mistakes most restaurant owners make and how to avoid them. Now I'm gonna ask you 3 questions. These are questions you need to know the answers to, and it will help you identify any possible mistakes you're probably making. So the first question is, how much money are you spending on marketing? Think about it. Maybe take a pen and jot down how much you're spending in each category. And while we go through each one, I'm going to point out a few flaws in them for you to think about. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do these, and in fact, you should have a multi-tiered approach, but I just want you to think about them so that you can gauge where you are, and figure out if you're making the right choices. So let's talk about mailers. Like my franchise client who spent about $4,000 on her grand opening mailers, she felt that it was a good investment, and maybe that was good for a one-time mailer, but on a consistent basis, that could get really expensive. Also, we expect to see only 2 to 5% of those coupons redeemed, and to me, that's really low. We're getting a lot higher redeems on our program. What about boosted post? Are you just randomly hitting boost and using the suggested $30 for a few days of extra likes? Please, if you take anything from this, stop boosting posts willy-nilly. Stop spending money without a strategy. And what about billboards? Now, those babies cost a pretty penny, and they swear you get thousands of eyeballs on your brand. Now, it's not a bad thing. In fact, it's good. We want you to get eyeballs on your brand. But is it worth the investment? Are you getting the right eyeballs on your brand, or just every person that drives by that may or may not be interested in your restaurant? Do you ask every person who comes in, how did they hear about you? I bet you have no time to do that. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. What about print ads? Again, not a bad idea. It gets your name out there. But when someone redeems it, that's kind of it. You have no way to track who came in and reach out to them again. You really can't track your return rate from those initial opt-ins, and you can't limit the amount of times the customer can use the same coupon again and again. What about in-store events? Now, those can be awesome, but they can also be a major flop. It's really hit or miss. Personally, I don't like that kind of unpredictability. I like to know something is going to work, don't you? Okay, now don't get mad at me when I talk about Groupon, but Groupon makes you think that you're making really good money, but let me tell you what the flaws are. They always ask you to discount your food around 50%, and then they take another percentage off of your profit as their cut for doing the marketing for you. So the problem with this is that people go to Groupon to find deals. They log into their Groupon account with their Groupon email just to find deals. Okay, so they're going to keep using your Groupon deal over and over and never pay full price. Or worse, they're going to go to someone else's restaurant because they have a better deal. So to me, Groupon, Living Social, any other deals website out there or app is just a losing situation for you. Okay, now let's talk about Yelp ads. Do I even need to say much about Yelp? Most restaurant owners I talked to said they spent about $300 to $500 on Yelp ads and never saw any return. Plus, they hide the good reviews for no reason. It's really sucky in my opinion. So think about your spending choices. Why are you spending money in those areas? Are you getting a return? Just something to ponder for a little bit while we get into the next question. Think about some other possible mistakes you might be making. So think about your current work-life balance. Are you content with it? I know two different types of restaurateurs. Maybe you're like Joanne. Joanne opened a restaurant while having a full-time job because it was her passion. And then she realized how hard it was to run a restaurant, especially a franchise where you have corporate giving you all kinds of extra fees, required marketing expense that doesn't seem to be getting you anything in return. When I first met Joanne, she told me she was feeling stressed, that they weren't going to be able to stay open much longer. She looked at the books and felt, wow, we are barely breaking even. We need more butts in the seats. P.S. This is not a real picture of Joanne, and that's not actually her real name to protect her identity, but I am talking about one of my actual clients that I was able to help get out of this situation. 60 hours a week, hitting a plateau with her sales and feeling stuck. You know, she was stressed out, doing it all herself. Are you like that? Or maybe you're like John. When John and I started working together last December, he opened up the books and showed me last year's sales. He told me where he wanted to be over last year, and we set some goals and set out to crush them. Remember I told you I was really competitive? So you give me some goals, we're going to hit them. With our ROI engine system, John has been able to consistently expect a 3-to-1 ROI on all his marketing dollars. In some months, we've even doubled that with a 6 times return. And that's all in, including any kind of discounts or Facebook ad spend. So that's pretty exciting. John has killed it every month, month after month. He's also able to predictably track the sales growth, and he's finally at a point where he can rest easy, knowing the sales are going to be there. John has achieved restaurant victory. Next question. Who is handling your marketing? If marketing is falling on you, is that a good use of your time as a CEO or boss of your restaurant? Or could your role be more effectively purposed for driving the vision, the long-term planning, pursuing investor relationships, training your team, creating new menu items? Plus, you don't even have time to keep up with all the changes Facebook makes. It's not even worth your time. Now, if it's a team member, is it really as cost-effective as you might think? Now, if you're paying somebody in California $12 an hour minimum wage and increasing, you're really paying much more than that. I'm sure you know. Insurance and taxes after you consider all that, but are you really getting a return on that money? They might have little knowledge of posting on social media because they do it for their own page, but I've noticed after working with dozens of restaurants that the in-house marketing gal tends to be pretty inconsistent with posts, and there isn't usually a real strategy in place. She doesn't have the training she needs to be really successful at it. A lot of restaurants have now a full service marketing company or a web company that handles their social media. They charge you a flat rate to handle your website, your reviews on Yelp, your Google My Business, and of course, they also do social media. It's really hard to trust that these web companies are up on all the newest techniques and changes with Facebook and Instagram, especially with the new changes that just came out with Messenger. Now, I, of course, recommend working with an agency that specializes in social media marketing, more specifically the ROI engine, but more on that in a sec. Which brings me to my third question, and possibly the most important. Can you track the success of each campaign? If you can, how are you measuring ROI? Are you making the mistake of not tracking your return on investment? So think back to your list of marketing spend. Mailers, boosted posts, billboards, print ads, in-store events, Groupon, Yelp ads, even Facebook ads. Are you guilty of any of these untrackable efforts? Now, I might make you mad here in a sec, but please stick with me. Like this post, comment, and share for 10% off. First of all, it's not compelling enough. It's also super hard to keep track of. There's too many hoops somebody has to jump through, and they're just not likely to even use it. And if they do use it and come in, you don't have their contact information. You have no way of knowing who they are and to invite them to come back. What about this one? Say you saw this on Facebook for a BOGO. Now, you might be able to think, oh, well, I can just keep a tally mark of people who came because of Facebook. Well, it still isn't trackable. Others in line might hear it, and then it's a domino. Now everybody gets a BOGO, and that's a no-go. I'm just kidding. That was super cheesy, but you get the idea. What about a paper email list sign up in the store? Does your staff actually get people to do this? Or only about maybe like half the time? Even if they're trained super well and you do get them to do it, who is filling out that paper? Who's inputting all of those email addresses or phone numbers into the system? Are you doing that? Are you sitting at your computer every night and entering all their info? Because that sounds like a big time suck to me. And I thought you were on this training because you wanted to save time. So maybe stop doing that. What about this one? Download our loyalty app. No one wants extra apps on their phone. Now, unless you're Starbucks, they somehow get away with it. But otherwise, it's a big nope for most people. They delete it after they get your big offer. So what about this kind, a paper punch card? My business coach, Matt Clapp, he likes to say, this ain't the 80s, man. Nobody keeps these anymore or wants to hold on to it for 10 freaking visits to get a measly $3 savings. Couldn't you do this digitally without having to make somebody download an extra app, maybe an app that someone already has on their phone? We'll come back to that. So please, for the love of Zuckerberg, please stop doing these. Did a marketing guy or gal convince you that brand awareness or impressions were so worth the investment with them, but you can't actually track the actual ROI and the actual person that came in? How much did they spend? Do you know if they came back or not? Can you follow up with them? Now, how could you if you don't have their contact info? This is the golden nugget that I want you to take away from this whole free training. You've got to build a database of customers to get them to keep coming and to keep spending money. Remember how I said I discovered the secret to scaling your restaurant business? It's called the ROI engine. I want to remind you first of our two main goals: fans for your brand and bills in your till. We can actually track the people and sales that come through your restaurant. Those other marketers focus on impressions. And while we're going to get impressions for you too, we actually focus on customers and sales. I don't know about you, but I'm in business to make money, aren't you? So that's where my efforts and dollars are spent, and why I've had so many clients say that what we do for them is so much different than what they've done in the past. So now we're going to talk about secret number 2, the best marketing strategy to build a loyal database of fans to drive new and repeat customers on autopilot so that you can remarket to them and track their sales. That's the bills in the till. So now, have you heard of Jon Taffer, the red napkin technique? So this is Jon Taffer. You might recognize him from Bar Rescue. It's on Spike. Now, love him or hate him, he's got some amazing ideas for restaurants. Jon was featured on the Gary Vee show, and a restaurant owner called in, and he was telling him all about his goals with this restaurant. So Jon gave him this crazy, complicated, but effective technique to get loyal customers. Now, I'm going to explain it to you, but I doubt you're going to have the time to do all this. But then at the end, I'm going to show you how we do this for you, but in a digital way. So here goes. The customer comes in with a free rib dinner offer. That tells you it's their first time. The server places a red napkin on their table. So that tells the owner to go over, ask how things were, give them a handwritten business card with like a $5 off chicken on the back. So that person comes back with a $5 off chicken. That signals to the owner that it's their second visit. The owner goes over and says, "Hey, how is the chicken? You must be stuffed. So here's another coupon. You've got to try the cheesecake. It's to die for." So he gives them a coupon for a free cheesecake. Now, the only way people are getting these coupons is by the owner handing it to them. So we know that they're going to come back, and then that will be their third visit. They bring in the card. That signals to the owner the third visit. So now if your customer has a flawless experience, amazing food, perfect service, what do you think is the statistical likelihood of a return visit after that first visit? Well, it's 40%. 4 out of 10 people are going to come back. The other 6 aren't. So we give them a second offer to come back. So after a second visit, what is the chance of a third visit, you think? Well, it's actually still just 42%. What about after a third visit? What do you think? Well, it bumps up way up to 70% chance of a fourth visit. So if you can get them to come 3 times and have a great experience all 3 times, you own them. And they're feeling familiar with your restaurant. They understand where you are. They know where to park. They understand your menu, especially if they've tried different parts of your menu. And they're more likely to keep coming and to tell their friends about it. So now we do this crazy convoluted technique, but we do it digitally using smartphone technology and an app people already love and use, Facebook. No extra downloads required. So it's so easy for customers to use, and it's easy for your staff to use too. You don't need to add anything else to your POS. No other fancy like the little tablets you have to plug in for those like Grubhub things. So we call this the ROI engine because it's a machine that we create for you, and it will predictably bring you 100, 200, even 500 new customers every month. And it's automated and trackable. Now I want to point out a few important takeaways from John's red napkin technique. Notice he said he gave away free food, not many discounts or a percentage off. He actually said don't discount. People get addicted to discounts, but they don't get addicted to free. There's a lot of psychology behind this. People understand you can't give away free stuff all the time, so they don't expect it. Also, rather than sounding desperate, it actually shows the customers how much you love and believe in your food, so much that you're willing to give it away for free so they can try it. Another thing to notice, you must have a compelling offer to get them in the door in the first place. Notice he recommended a free rib dinner, and that sounds expensive. So it has a high perceived value. The cost is low to you. It's around $5. And the lifetime value of that customer will be 10 to 20 times that amount per year. So would you be willing to spend $5 to $10 to gain a loyal customer who's going to come back an estimated 12 to 24 times per year? Wouldn't you be happy if they came just once a month? And wouldn't you be more happy if you could track it? John also mentioned that you can't do just one offer that you run in the paper from time to time. It's got to be a system that you run, that your staff understands and uses consistently. He said you need 3 offers minimum, like these examples. Get them in with a free entree, return visit $5 off or a free appetizer, and then return visit, they get a free dessert. Now you've got to ensure they're going to come back a second and a third time to get them to that 70% likelihood of a fourth visit and so on. If you think about it in theory, it's actually genius and it's pretty simple. But you're busy and your staff forgets, and other customers might overhear you handing out a free cheesecake. So we do this in a more sophisticated way. That brings me to secret number 3. So now that we've established the best way for you to get customers to come back, let's dive into how we attract them in the first place. I want you to meet Rudy. This pic was from one of our first meetings when I got to go behind the scenes with him for my foodie show, Inland Empire Eats. He's such a hoot. With the ROI engine, we just hit $20,000 in incremental sales in 2.5 months so far. I want you to see on the next page, I'm going to show you the actual dashboard that he has total access to see. So here's how the numbers break down. In the first 2.5 months of running this campaign, he's gotten 3,800 contacts in their database, 1,900 customers through the door, and that's got a 50% redemption rate. When's the last time you had 50% redemption rate on a coupon? 2,700 store visits, of which 844 returned, for a total of $20,407 in tracked sales. And the average check is $7.39, which actually is still in line with our typical average check, even though this was a totally free burrito. People could have just gotten the free burrito and been done, but they still average $7. All tracked. That's how we prove ROI. I know, it's exciting. And by the way, Those numbers, this is one of our best customers. If you're like, okay, those numbers seem kind of crazy, wouldn't you be happy even just with half? We are getting all of our customers an average of 5-to-1 ROI on their marketing. Pretty exciting. The victorious restaurateurs know these numbers and they understand them. They rely on me to provide them, but they get the importance of knowing how much it costs to acquire a customer and to keep them. So if you don't have a strategy and a system, you're just going to keep throwing money at shiny objects, wasting your marketing efforts. You're going to keep posting and hoping some kind of magic happens. You're going to keep guessing how much sales you're getting from brand awareness campaigns like those expensive billboards, radio ads, or even just posting on social media. So here's 4 things you need to be a victorious restaurant owner versus being worked to the bone. I've identified 4 things you're going to need, and you're going to be responsible for 2 of them. Now, if you'll let me, my team will handle the other 2. So first, you need amazing food that people love to eat and talk about eating. This one's pretty obvious. Next, you're going to need great customer service and experience, which may mean you need to get a business consultant or an HR person to help if you've got like family staff issues. If you don't have these 2 things locked down, you aren't ready to implement a system like this. You're going to end up with me sending you a ton of traffic that your staff can't handle. And if your food's bad, you're going to get a bunch of bad reviews that are going to be really hard to get past. I am not a magician, sorry. Then you're going to need constant traffic. I call this fans for your brand. And as John Taffer calls it, eyeballs first, then bodies through the door next. Now you're going to need a proven system to convert those fans, those eyeballs, into customers, to put the bills in the till. Not just once, but again and again. So you handle the food and service, help provide that flawless experience we're talking about, and my team will handle the traffic and conversions. We're going to help bring you 100, 200, even 500 new fans or leads consistently every month and help you convert those customers that will return. I'll also be able to show you down to the penny how much you've spent and earned from directly marketing for you. You can see a day-by-day report even if you're into that kind of thing. That way you can see and analyze the numbers and ensure that you are happy with the results. So are you not getting the results you want right now? Are you so busy running your restaurant that it's hard to find the time to market it so you can grow? Or do you have the time but you don't have the clue where to start with Facebook, or you just don't want to deal with it? If you're relying on organic posts on social media, boosted posts, or print coupons, you're leaving money on the table. The reality is you have to pay to play, but we can help. Since there are so many businesses marketing on social media, your posts just aren't getting seen right now. You need to have a strategic marketing plan and run effective Facebook and Instagram ads to show up in people's news feeds, not boosted posts that just get you a few likes. You need to know the cost to acquire a customer's attention. We call that opt-ins. And the cost to convert that customer, offer redemption, or sales, so that you can spend a predictable amount of money and get a predictable return on your investment. The longer you predictably grow, the more that snowball effect is going to happen. So here's what the ROI engine is. We are going to lock down the following 4 things for you. Number 1, we're going to figure out who your ideal customer is, the right audience, or your target market. Then we're going to show them the right message, the most compelling offer you got, to reach them through the right media. We're going to test photos and videos to find out how they best respond. Then once they respond, our system sends them an invitation through Facebook Messenger to come out and try your offer. Now, these messages are typically getting its 80 to 90% open rate. Compare that to your email open rates where you're lucky to get 20%. And you don't even have to do it. You're actually going to want to turn off your notifications because you're going to be getting so many messages from potential customers that you're going to just be so overwhelmed. So just turn off your notifications and we can help you. Then you're going to need a system to bring them into your restaurant that first time and actually track that they came in. Mark them as redeemed so they can't use the offer again, collect their total bill, and then send them offer number 2 to get them to come back. After a few months, your database will have thousands of fans for your brand that we can invite back, with 60 to 80% open rates on those following messages. Now, are you thinking, okay, Tracy, how can I get this predictable, trackable system? How can I get 100, 200, even 500 more customers every month in my restaurant? Well, do you want to be like Joanne, work to the bone, working 60, 80 hours a week, feeling stuck, tried everything, hit a plateau in your sales, stressed out and doing it all yourself? Or do you want to be like John, seeing a 3-to-1 ROI and better on all your marketing dollars to get to the point where you can rest easy, knowing the sales are going to steadily increase year over year, predictably, Now, John used to have a hard time quantifying his results, but now with the ROI engine, John looks forward to analyzing his marketing campaigns. He hates Facebook so much. He tells us every time we meet, but he knows that's where his customers are. He said, I don't need more followers, I need more dollars. And we were able to help him achieve restaurant victory. Don't you? I'm looking for a few more people like John. I'm looking for a few more of my dream clients, restaurants where I can help them get the same results and help them achieve restaurant victory. So that's why I'd like to work with you in a one-on-one marketing strategy session. You've got to meet a few criteria. Do you want more restaurant exposure? Fans for your brand. Do you want more customers through the door? Bills in your till. Do you want more money from each customer? A higher average check? Then I think we should talk. But first, let me tell you who the strategy session is for. It's for restaurants with amazing food and service. I either need to come eat at your restaurant and try it for myself or check out your reviews. But you've got to have amazing food and service. Otherwise, like I said, this isn't going to work. You need to have either be a fast casual or a sit-down restaurant, and you're eager to grow your sales. You also need to understand that you have to give something in order to get something in return from your customers. The last thing is that there's a few different types of people that this strategy session is not for. It's not for you if you're interested in starting a restaurant business. It's not for you if you aren't willing to have some skin in the game and make the effort to make it work. Those who are content with their current state and aren't serious about growing their restaurant sales. It's also not for you if you don't have great food and service on the lockdown, because the better the fit, the better the results. And I'm going to be upfront if I don't think that I can get you the results and get you the return on your investment. When we talk on the phone, I'll be able to tell you if I can help you. If I can't help you, then I'll make sure to tell you that, and I'll help you in whatever way that I can. So now the first step is to complete an application. This is a personal one-on-one strategy session between you and me, Tracy. I need to make sure that you and I are a good fit, and then I can definitely help you. I certainly had to turn some businesses down from this process because they just weren't ready or we weren't the right fit, and there's no hard feelings. I also need to make sure that you are ready to step up and commit and take action so that you can start to fill your restaurant with customers and keep those butts in the seats. Now, after I get your application, you'll be able to schedule a time for our one-on-one strategy session. During that call, you'll get to work out your concerns and frustrations with your current situation and how you're currently marketing your restaurant. I know you're busy, so we will definitely honor your time and make sure you receive the answers you're looking for. I'll be able to provide some custom ideas for you on this call so you can implement it right away. I want you to get a ton of value out of just our free call. Then at the end of that free strategy session, you'll either be a good fit and I'll give you an invitation to work with me as one of my clients and I'll provide pricing for you then, or you may not be a good fit and I'll let you know that too. So please go click below to apply now and we'll start getting you restaurant victory. Now, I hope this video has given you a strong sense of who I am, how I work, how my system works, but also what most restaurants are doing wrong with their marketing and how you can stay ahead of the curve by working with us. If you feel like you're ready to take action and move forward, click the link below to apply. Here's to more fans for your brand and bills in your till. Here's to restaurant victory.